Hi everybody, I'm Dale Mason. I'm a certified public accountant and I specialize in international organization employee tax. So today we'll be talking about G-4 taxation and whether or not G-4 visa holders have a U.S. income tax return filing obligation. We're going to go over 4 different cases. The first case is the easiest case of all, and that would be an international organization employee only having compensation from an international organization. Do you have a tax filing requirement then? The answer is no. And the reason for that is that Section 893 tells us that your compensation is completely exempt from tax. Not only is it completely exempt from tax, but you don't have to make an election to make it exempt. You don't have to file a return to make it exempt. It just is exempt. As a matter of fact, it's not even included in what's called your gross income. So you have no tax filing obligation in that case. Case number 2 is where you have not only compensation from an international organization, but the G-4 visa holder also has interest earned in either a bank account or at a credit union. And you say, Dale, why is that the case that it's tax exempt? Because most G-4 visa holders are non-residents of the U.S. and non-residents of the U.S. don't pay any tax on bank interest or credit union interest. So case number 2 tells us that you still don't have an income tax filing requirement. Case number 3 would be a little bit more complex. Not only are you working for the international organization, but then you also have interest from a bank or credit union, and now you've set up a U.S. brokerage account. And in that U.S. brokerage account, you have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. Well, if you have U.S. stocks and they pay dividends, U.S. stock dividends are taxable to a G-4 visa holder at a flat rate of 30%. If you have foreign stocks in that portfolio, the foreign stock dividends are completely tax exempt because since G-4s are generally non-residents of the U.S., they don't pay any tax on foreign source income. And foreign stock dividends are considered foreign source income, not subject to tax to a G-4 visa holder. The last thing I want to mention about this case is the situation in which you have capital gains from the sale of any securities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. If you have capital gains from the sale of securities and you're a G-4 visa holder living and working in the United States and you've spent more than 183 days in the calendar year in the United States, then I'm sorry to tell you that your worldwide capital gains from the sale of securities, no matter where those securities are located, in the U.S., abroad, U.S. stocks, foreign stocks, capital gains from those securities are considered taxable by the U.S. government at a flat 30% tax rate. Yes, that's right. And there's no withholding on that. So in that case, this case number 3, if you have capital gains from the sale of securities, you will have to file a Form 1040-NR, a non-resident income tax return, and impose yourself, through filing of this return, the 30% tax on your capital gains for the year. And that tax return is generally due April 15th, but it's possible also that it would be due June 30th. I always recommend filing the tax return on April 15th anyway, even if it's not due until June 30th, because most of the state's filing requirements are that you file by April 15th, even if you're a non-resident for federal purposes. So case number 3 is you would have a tax filing requirement. And finally, case number 4 is for those G-4 visa holders that own any U.S. rental property. Earning any gross income, even if it's $1 from a U.S. rental property, and even if you have a loss from that property, requires you to file an income tax return, again on Form 1040-NR, 1040 non-resident return. So in these cases, in the first 2 cases where you just earn compensation and interest income, you generally don't have a filing requirement. However, if you have capital gains from the sale of securities anywhere in the world, you will have a tax filing requirement. And if you have any U.S. rental properties, you will have a tax filing requirement. Well, thanks a lot for listening, and I look forward to the next episode in this series.